that sound. Good morning. Allow me to greet each of you personally. Honorable Director General of Forest Research, Development and Innovation Agency, Honorable Head of Indonesia Wood Research Society, MAPEKI, Honorable Keynote Speakers and Research Professors, Honorable Directors of Agencies under the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, Honorable Head of Research Institutes, and I would like to also greet all researchers here, university academic and research student, and also our moderator, Frida Lidwina. How do you do, everyone? A very beautiful morning to all of you. I'm feeling grateful to God of all creation, for by His grace, we are able to get together today to hold the online seminar. I am Rosi Tampu Bolon. I will act as the Master of Ceremony. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the ever-increasing number of world population have put much pressure to forest environment. Now, how is exactly science, and in particular, forest science, would provide answer to the problem? It seems like there's not much left option to do other than innovation. Now here, in the 3rd International Conference of Forest Product 2020, we invite all of you to join us in the discussion that we hope will bring range of options, range of ideas, and range of innovations to help solve the problem. This year, ICFP taking on the special thematic of the 12th International Symposium of Indonesia Wood Research Society, or IWORS, and we are focusing on the topic of forest product processing innovations and sustainable forest and environment management. Now, some of you probably just can't wait to dig into the discussion, but you just have to hold on because we have to open our day by singing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to brief you the outline agenda for today's seminar. Now, in today's seminar, we have 2 sessions in our main agenda. The first one will be the plenary session. In this session, you will be delivered with 4 interesting topics that will be presented by 4 keynote speakers. And following after this session is the parallel session when all of you can be included in a more in-depth discussion of your topic of preference. Now that is our agenda for today, and now to officially welcome you, I would like to invite the Acting Directors of Forest Product Research and Development Center, who is also the events chairman of the committee, Dr. Wening Wulandari. Dr. Wening, time and place are yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear Excellencies, Director General of Research, Development and Innovation Agency, Head of Indonesian Wood Research Society, keynote speakers, and all of distinguished guests and participants. Let us always be grateful to God who always asks to have the opportunity to attend the International Conference on Forest Products 2020 today. First of all, I would like to convey my gratitude to all of you participants and keynote speakers for your attendance. Welcome to the conference. The International Conference on Forest Product 2020 is the third international conference organized by Forest Product Research and Development Center. The conference this time is very special because it is held virtually during the COVID-19 pandemic, which has not ended. Besides, it also raises the thematic series of the International Symposium of IWORS, Indonesian Wood Research Society. This is a strategic step to develop a research network between forest product processing with the other aspect in forest resources and environment management. The theme of the international conference is Forest Product Processing Innovation for Communities and Sustainable Forest and Environment Management, which is a strategic theme to encourage the role of science and technology in commercialization and to increase the wide application and provide optimal benefit for the community. This international conference today is expected to be a medium for researchers, scientists, and all stakeholders from various research institutes and universities to exchange information and experiences, as well as develop research and development collaboration and synergy. Distinguished guests and participants, the international conference today is attended by more than 400 participants and invitees. In this conference, we will get to share information about developments in science and technology in forest product processing with speakers from Indonesia, Japan, and Korea. Thank you for your willingness to be a speaker on this occasion. There are 75 local and international presenters from various institutions who will present outstanding science and technology information related to the theme. This is the highest number of papers that were presented from the 3 times of ICFP was held. Thank you for this trust in us. These papers will be published on IOP Publishing Series, which is indexing by Scopus. We hope the research results that are presented today will become a benchmark for research and development in the future, and also can be the modalities to develop research and development collaboration. Once again, thank you for joining this conference. Stay healthy and stay safe. With all respect, Director General of Research, Development and Innovation Agency, Bapak Dr. Agus Justianto, please give us the honor to have you formally open the International Conference of Forest Product 2020 today. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Wening. Now that is Dr. Wening with an official welcoming statement. And now to officially open the International Conference of Forest Product, I would like to invite the Director General of Forest Research Development and Innovation Agency, Dr. Agus Justianto. Dr. Justianto, time and place are yours.
Thank you very much. Distinguished directors of agencies under the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, Head of Indonesian Wood Research Society, Mapeki, speaker from Indonesia, Japan, Korea, research professors, Head of Research Institute, researchers, university academics, research students, distinguished guests and participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning for all of you. Let us always thank God, which allow us to have the opportunity and good health to attend the International Conference on Forest Products 2020 today. Holding international conference is a strategic event for research institutions. It is a breakthrough and important step to disseminate science, technology, and innovation results as well as a great opportunity to develop research and development international network. The international conference is also an excellent event for scientists to explore information, exchanging experiences, and build a network in R&D, which is in turn will take us to higher achievement in supporting the development of environment and forestry science and technology in Indonesia and internationally. I am grateful to the many experts who have come to share their knowledge today. It is a valuable opportunity for me to be able to meet scientists, experts, students from various institutions and fields of expertise. Distinguished guests and participants, the theme of today's international conference, Forest Products Processing Innovation for Communities and Sustainable Forest and Environment Management. In today's era, forest product processing requires a reliable technology to produce a high-quality resource efficient, have a good market prospect, and highly beneficial for communities. The last factor is the important one, that the science and technologies of forest products must be beneficial to people, especially in the state of COVID-19 pandemic. Wood and non-wood forest products have to be managed with the right technology in order to give added value and sustainable benefit. It is therefore we are inviting the qualified keynote speakers in today's international conference. In particular, I thank you for the willingness and presence of Professor Namhoon Kim, Professor Kenji Umemura, and Dr. Jamaluddin Malik for sharing information and their experience in the best practices of forest product processing. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, science, technology, and innovation are important factors in policy making. In this case, the role of researcher and scientists in general is very strategic by providing policy recommendations based on science, technology, and innovation. I'm sure that today's discussion are coming from selected science and technology, which will be further implemented. There are 75 research results that will be presented today. This is a very valuable opportunity to be able to find out the status of the achievement of the development of science and technology. The synergy of research, institutions, and academics in producing science and technology innovation will be a positive step in developing knowledge. Everyone that holds a pool of knowledge will complete each other to create a comprehensive workpiece. I'm convinced that researchers and academics in the Indonesian Wood Research Society have started this at a national level. Through today's international conference, I expect the emerging of stronger and more developed research collaboration and synergy at the international level. Distinguished guests and participants, once again, welcome all participants. I'm sure you will have fruitful and rewarding exchanges today. We thank you for attending today's conference. Even though it is virtual, it will not reduce the benefits we will get from this conference. I wish you every success with this important conference, and I look forward to learning about the outcomes. I hope today's international conference could provide valuable benefit and information for the development of science, technology, and innovation of forest products in the future. By saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, the International Conference on Forest Products 2020 on 1st September 2020 is officially open. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now about to move into our main agenda, which is the plenary session. But before that, allow me to introduce you to Ms. Frida Lidwina. Ms. Lidwina is the professional news anchor at CNN Indonesia News Agency, and we are very lucky to have her here with us to be the moderator for today's seminar. Hello, Frida.
Hello, Rosie, how are you?
Okay, Frida, we are learning that you are joining with us from your place at Jakarta. I wonder, how is the capital city lately?
It actually has been really hot, but luckily today it's not that hot. But I'm here in the convenience of my own home, so looking forward to this international conference on forest products.
Okay. Now, Frida, you probably have learned several things about the Forest Product Research and Development Center. Some of our participants probably don't get too familiar with the agency yet. What do you think if we show them some kind of video to keep them updated of what have been happening lately on the agency?
I think it's a brilliant idea. So let's watch.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the video that we have prepared for you. Hope you enjoy.
Pusat Penelitian dan Pengembangan Hasil Hutan, Forest Products Research and Development Center hadir dengan branding 4Pro, More Than Technology. Pro telah berkiprah lebih dari 1 abad. Sebuah perjalanan panjang dan usia yang mencerminkan maturitas lembaga dan kompetensi sebagai lembaga litbang unggul. Keunggulan 4Pro diakui oleh banyak pihak yang berujung dengan penetapan sebagai pusat unggulan iptek dalam pemanfaatan hasil hutan tropis. Pro berkiprah dengan bukti melalui ratusan iptek dan inovasi membanggakan yang telah dihasilkan. Iptek dan inovasi bidang pengolahan hasil hutan telah menjadi branding lembaga yang sudah menjadi referensi bagi masyarakat dalam pengelolaan sumber daya hutan dan lingkungan. Ragam laboratorium yang telah terakreditasi ISO 17025 2017 dan bisnis proses yang dijalankan dengan akreditasi KNAP 02 2017 menjadikan 4Pro sebagai idola tempat belajar dan berkonsultasi bagi pemangku kepentingan. Dukungan para pihak telah mendorong 4Pro menghasilkan inovasi dan rekayasa mesin yang komprehensif dan mengembangkan laboratorium rujukan pengolahan limbah batang sawit. Iptek pengolahan limbah batang sawit menjadi produk perkayuan yang ramah lingkungan, mampu mematahkan keraguan ketiadaan kayu alternatif untuk memenuhi kebutuhan industri kayu. Pro juga menggarap potensi lain dari hutan, yaitu limbah dan hasil hutan bukan kayu. Sentuhan iptek 4Pro mampu mengubah limbah menjadi rupiah. Aplikasi iptek arang terpadu oleh masyarakat tidak terhitung lagi jumlahnya. Sebuah capaian tidak ternilai dan sangat berharga bagi 4Pro. Invensi yang dihasilkan mampu memberikan manfaat luar biasa bagi publik Forpro terus berinovasi, mengembangkan teknologi manufacture superheating reaktor dan menggandeng mitra industri untuk komersialisasi. Silarium bogoriense sudah tidak asing lagi di telinga kita. Sebuah capaian fenomenal menjadi silarium terbesar di dunia dengan lebih dari 200.000 spesimen kayu. Silarium bogoriense menjadi sumber data utama pengembangan ICO KLHK, sebuah sistem yang mampu mengenali kayu dalam hitungan detik. Pemanenan kayu yang menyisakan seminimal mungkin limbah menjadi fokus dalam pengelolaan sumber daya hutan. Iptek pemanenan kayu dan rekayasa peralatan yang dikembangkan Forpro telah memberikan kesejukan bagi para pelaku usaha untuk dapat memanfaatkan sumber daya yang dikelola secara optimal.
Yeah, I think we have seen the video on 4Pro, and now we have a very, very good idea of what 4Pro is and what it is doing for us. Well, first of all, I would like to say hello to everyone. Selamat pagi. I'm so happy to be here this morning and meeting all the speakers and all participants through this wonderful technology right from home in Jakarta. And talking about technology, and thanks to it, you can share and access a whole lot of information to and from a whole lot of people everywhere. Well, through the internet, especially social medias. Talking about social media, some people ask if a tree falls in the forest and it isn't posted on Facebook or Instagram, or really happen. Well, to be honest, there are not enough people interested in what's happening to our forests and the trees in it, and therefore there probably isn't that many news on forests being covered by media and the internet. Well, I myself would have never typed the key forest if it isn't for this conference. I'm sorry, but just being honest, forests are so valuable to us, but it is lacking so much attention, and we actually need to expose and educate more and more people about forests and its products. They are essential to our life, and they should be used responsibly to ensure sustainability and also in balance, so that they are not endangered yet can generate income and economic values to people. That's why conferences like this is important to us, and I'm so happy and honored to be part of it. In the first session of the ICFP 2020 today, I will remind you that there will be 3 speakers who are joining from Japan, South Korea, and of course Indonesia, who will share with us the latest strategies and developments. But before we go into the 3 speakers, we are honored to have Dr. Insinyur Agus Justianto, MSc. He's the Director General of Research, Development and Innovation Agency from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Pak Agus will deliver the keynote speech for today, and he has been part of the Indonesian delegation in many international conferences and seminars, both as speaker and as representative. Pak Agus also has an extensive experience and knowledge on forestry programs, as he has been over 30 years working with the Indonesian Ministry of Forestry. Pak Agus, good morning.
Good morning.
Selamat pagi, Pak.
Selamat pagi.
Ya, kepada Pak Agus saya persilakan waktu dan tempatnya, Pak, to deliver your keynote speech for today.
Yes, thank you, Frida. Very good morning to everybody. I would like to deliver a presentation regarding the new strategy, actualization of science, technology, and innovation application for economic recovery as an impact of COVID-19 pandemic. I will give you an outline of my speech first regarding the background, and then impacts, and then effort to overcome impacts, and then how further play its roles and recommendation. As a background, I would like to inform you that the COVID-19 pandemic has had impacts in various aspects. We are focusing on aspect of social and economy. Health crisis. Researchers have not found a vaccine yet, limited medicines and medical personnel. The number of infected is more than 23 million people. It's very big. And more than 800,000 people died. Regarding recovery environment, less population, the air is cleaner. Increased environmental cleanliness, carbon dioxide emission decreased by 17% from 2019 average daily carbon dioxide level. I would like to talking about the economic aspect. The economy is weakening globally. We know that economic growth slow or decrease sharply. Based on IMF, world economic growth grew negatively by 4.9%. And then economic performance declined sharply. Consumption was disrupted, investment was hampered, weak business activities. Indonesia's consumption, for example, pattern fell by 5.02%. And then commodity prices are falling. Example, global oil prices fell about 65%. The WTO predicts a decline in global trade by 2020 is about 13 to 32%. If we are talking about the social aspect, a sharp increase of current and unemployment and layoffs. And then there is an increasing number of poor people, less social interaction, enhancement of non-cash transaction, and then also increase in awareness of clean and healthy lifestyle. The impact on the forestry sector, you know that the COVID-19 pandemic has put heavy pressure on the performance of the forestry business sector. The main export destination countries for Indonesian processed food, namely China, Japan, US, cooperation. For example, we have a close collaboration with the CIFOR, Center for International Research. And we have a long collaboration, and we do a lot of research, development, and innovation. And also we have many collaboration with other countries through the bilateral and multilateral cooperation. Yes, thank you.
Pak Agus, thank you so much for your keynote speech and also for a very short discussion. If this is like a real conference, like we are meeting face to face, I would probably ask all the participants to give a big applause for Pak Agus for giving us a valuable insight in the keynote speech and also the short discussion. They will indeed set the ground for our upcoming discussion with very honorable speakers who are already joining us. Our session, to remind you of the agenda, each speaker will have about 15 minutes to present, more or less. And after all three speakers present, we will have a Q&A session where the speakers will answer questions from participants. The questions from participants can be submitted via the application called Slido, and participants can start submitting their question anytime during presentation. And for those of you who would like to submit question, the event code is 38109. Through Slido, the event code is 38109. And now that everything is said, I would like to say hi to all speakers. The first one is Professor Kenji Umemura. Hello, Professor Kenji.
Ya, halo.
Hello,
Selamat
how are
pagi,
you?
Brahya. Selamat pagi. Thank you, Andrew.
Selamat pagi. How's Japan and Kyoto?
Yeah,
today?
it's very good.
Okay, Professor Kenji Umemura,
Yes.
he is a professor at Research Institute for
Yeah.
Sustainable Humanosphere at Kyoto University. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very
And
much.
the second speaker, we have also joining us, Professor Nam Hun Kim. He is the professor at College of Forest and Environmental Science from Gangwon National University in South Korea. Hello, Professor Kim. How are you doing today?
Hello. It's nice day. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Professor Kim. And the third speaker is Pak Jamaluddin Malik, SHUT MT PhD. He is Forest Products Research and Development Center from the Ministry of Forestry. Pak Jamal, selamat pagi, Pak Jamal. Yeah, good morning, Pak Jamal, and thank you for joining us. Okay, without further ado, I would like to just start our discussion session with the speakers, where all the speakers will present each for 15 minutes, and I would like to present to you the first speaker, Professor Kenji Umemura from Kyoto University. Professor Kenji will be will not be delivering his presentation live, but you, I understand you have a recorded video to share with us,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So can I do that?
Yes, please.
Okay, just wait.
Okay. Professor Kenji will be
Yeah.
presenting strategies for developing wood-based
Yes.
materials.
Yeah, just wait. But so this is my slide is okay. Then it's all right. It's okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, are you going to play a video presentation or are we going to play the video for you? Because I understand you have sent us some materials before.
Sorry?
Are we? I think we are going to play for you the video that you have.
I cannot hear your voice. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. So, Pak Kenji, are you going to
Excuse
present
me.
live?
I cannot hear your voice.
Okay.
I'm sorry, so I cannot hear your voice.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the host to play the video that you have submitted. Okay. So in that case, maybe you can just start your presentation.
Hello.
Hello.
Frida, maybe the committee will share the
Okay.
presentation of Professor Umemura.
Yeah, okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Now I can hear you. So how should I do that? Oh.
Thank you very much. Selamat pagi. I am Kenju Memra, the professor of the Research Institute for Sustainable Human Sphere, Kyoto University.
Okay.
The first, it is my great pleasure to have the opportunity to give a speech entitled The Strategy for Developing Sustainable Wood-Based Materials. As you know, the wood-based materials are reconstructed materials using fiber, particles, veneer, laminar bonded with adhesives. And wood-based materials have some advantages. The environmentally friendly materials, the small wood, waste wood, sawdust can be used as raw materials. And the high reliable materials can be produced due to elimination and the dispersion of defective parts such as knot and decay. And the panel materials and the structural composite lumbers can be produced industrially. So, the wood-based materials are indispensable as materials for architecture and furniture. This figure shows the global production of wood-based panels, that is the plywood, particle board and OSB, and fiberboard. The x-axis shows the year from 1995 to 2018, and the y-axis indicates the production. So as you can see that the production of wood-based panel increased 2.9 times over the last 23 years. And it shows that the production is increasing significantly. The total production is 408 million cubic meters in 2018. The each production ratio of plywood, particle board and OSB, and fiberboard is the 40%, 31%, and 29% respectively in 2018. This figure shows the global wood-based panel production and its forecast reported in 2009. X-axis shows the year from 1965 to 2013, and y-axis shows the production. So each color shows the region, such as Africa, Asia and the Pacific, and so on. So this data was published in 2009. Therefore, from 1965 to around 2009, so those values are actual values. But from around 2009 to 2013, the production is the estimated values. According to the data, wood-based panel production will increase in the future. And the actual production in 2018, shown in the previous slide, is higher than the forecast published in 2009. This increase will be due to the population growth and the economic development in the world. Generally, Wood-based materials are produced by using wood element and adhesive under a manufacturing condition. Therefore, I think that there are three factors in the production of wood-based materials. That is, wood, adhesive, and manufacturing condition. In case of wood, there are some factors such as the species, density, moisture content, element size, and so on. And in case of adhesive, the type, liquid property, additives, degree of cure are very important. In the manufacturing conditions, these factors are important. So in this presentation, we would like to think about the wood and adhesive, which are raw materials. This is the change of the global forest area from 1990 to 2020. 178 million hectares decreased over the last 30 years. The decreasing area is equivalent to the 4.7 times of the area of Japan. And the rate of forest decrease slow in recent years. This is due to the forest preservation and the increase of the plantation forest. However, the forest area is expected to continue to decrease, considering the various factors such as deforestation and climate change. This is a recent web news reported in this January. Australia's fires are 46% bigger than the last year's Brazilian Amazon blazes. According to these articles, since September, bushfires have razed an estimated 25 million acres in Australia. That's an area larger than South Korea and 46% more than the total that burned in the Brazilian Amazon last year. Hundreds of thousands of people have been forced to evacuate, and more than 1 billion animals are feared dead. Drought conditions and record-breaking temperature contribute to the fire's unprecedented scale and intensity. Carbon dioxide the blazes send into the atmosphere contribute to climate change, raising the risk of more large fires in the future. As you know, the forests provide multi-functions, such as biodiversity conservation function, global environmental preservation function, and so on, in addition to material production function. Therefore, the forest preservation will become more important in the future. Considering this situation, we need to investigate the utilization of unutilized lignocellulose resources as raw materials for wood-based materials. For example, this is world production of natural fibers used for wood-based materials. The production of straw, including the wheat and rice, is about 1,145 million tons per year. And the production of stalks is 970 million tons per year. The total resources of the plant fiber is 2,283 million tons. On the other hand, the wood is 1,750 million tons. Therefore, it is shown that the potential of these plant fiber is very high. Furthermore, this is the global crops production from 1960 to 2017. Crops include the wheat, rice, corn, sorghum, sugarcane. The production increased linearly like this. Considering the population growth and the economic development, the crops production will increase in the future. But, as you know, those crops generate the waste such as straw, stalks, and bagasse. So, we have to deal with these wastes. To summarize above, the production of wood-based material will increase. The reason is due to the population growth and economic development. However, the forest area will continue to decrease due to the deforestation and the forest fires. Therefore, we need to investigate the alternative raw materials for wood-based materials. On the other hand, the crops production will increase and the waste will also increase. But the open burning is prohibited, considering the climate change. Therefore, we need to investigate utilization of the agricultural waste. The utilization of agricultural waste as raw materials for wood-based materials should be investigated. The wood-based materials consist of wood element and adhesive, so adhesives are indispensable to wood-based materials. The adhesives are synthetic resin adhesive. For example, there are the formaldehyde-based resin adhesive, the PMDI, epoxy resin adhesive, polyurethane adhesive, and so on. This table shows the raw material of synthetic resin adhesives. As you can see, there are many raw materials, such as the polyvinyl alcohol, vinyl acetate, styrene, phenol, acrylic acid, MMA, bisphenol A, epichlorohydrin, and so on. And these chemical compounds are derived from hydrocarbons such as ethylene, propylene, butan-butazene cut, aromatic compounds. And these hydrocarbons are derived from naphtha. In case of the formaldehyde, it is synthesized from natural gas. So the naphtha and natural gas are derived from fossil resources. Therefore, the almost raw material of synthetic resin adhesives are derived from fossil resources. Considering concern about the future global environment and the potential shortage of fossil resources, it is desired to reduce their consumption of synthetic resin. Therefore, we need to replace the synthetic resin adhesive with bio-based adhesive as much as possible. Recently, I checked the research papers regarding the bio-based wood adhesive from 2015 to 2019 using Web of Science. The total of 374 papers are found. The saccharide-based adhesive were 60 papers. The protein-based adhesive were 129 papers. Aromatic-based adhesive, including lignin and tannin, are 107 papers. The oil-based adhesive were 48 papers, and other bio-based adhesive were 30 papers. According to the result, it was found that the research on the protein-based adhesive was popular. Based on the content of their research papers, the conventional development of bio-based wood adhesive can be summarized into 4 groups. The first is the utilization of natural substances in conventional synthetic resins. For example, the chemical structure of tannin and lignins is similar to phenol. So, instead of phenol, tannin and lignin are used in PF resin. The PF resins containing the tannin and lignins are synthesized. The second is improvement of adhesion performance by chemical modification. For example, the starch and soy protein itself have not bonding properties. So, some chemical modifications are performed to enhance the reactivity and adhesion performance. The third is improvement of adhesion performance by adding synthetic compound. As typical example, the addition of isocyanate resin is known. The fourth is the combination of 1, 2, 3. However, these methods have some problems, such as a complicated preparation, high dependence on fossil resources, and low adhesiveness, especially low water resistance. So we have to develop the new bio-based adhesive having simple preparation, low dependence on fossil resources, and high adhesiveness. Anyhow, the bio-based wood adhesive would be important in the future. Conventional wood-based materials consist of wood and a synthetic resin adhesive. But, considering the wood and the fossil resources, the investigation of unutilized lignocellulose like agricultural waste and bio-based adhesive is desired. Here, I'd like to introduce a recent project named the SATREPS. In this project, we are in charge of the utilization of Swiss sorghum bagasse as raw material of particle board. The Swiss sorghum has planted in large area as a multi-purpose plant for food chemical agent. But the large amount of bagasse is generated as a waste. Conventionally, the bagasse is used as a silage, but this utilization is short-term carbon stock. So, we investigate the possibility of bagasse utilization for raw material of particle board. This is the manufacture method of particle board. So in this case, we use the citric acid and sucrose as a bio-based adhesive. That is, the citric acid and sucrose are dissolved in the water, and the solution was used as an adhesive. The solution was sprayed onto the sorghum bagasse particles, and mud was formed. The mud was hot pressed, and then the sorghum bagasse particle board bonded with citric acid and sucrose was obtained. These are some results. The table 1 shows the wood screw holding power, MOR, and the thickness swelling of particle board bonded with citric acid and sucrose, and PF resin. The value of wood screw holding power of using citric acid and sucrose was 525 Newton. This value was higher than that of the board bonded with citric acid only, but lower than the board bonded with PF resin. The MOR value of using the citric acid and sucrose was similar to that of the PF resin. And the thickness swelling of the board bonded with the citric acid and sucrose was comparable to the JIS standard. The table 2 shows the formaldehyde emission of each board. As you can see that we didn't detect the formaldehyde emission irrespective of the board. So it was found that the sorghum bagasse particle board bonded with citric acid and sucrose had good mechanical and physical properties. This table shows the termite and decay resistances of particle board bonded with citric acid, sucrose, PF resin, and PMDI. Basically, there is a concern about the biological durability of particle board bonded with bio-based adhesive. Therefore, we investigated these properties. The value of termite mortality and mass loss in termite resistance were similar to those of the board bonded with PF resin and PMDI. In addition, the values of brown rot fungus and white rot fungus in decay resistance were also similar to those of the board bonded with PF resin and PMDI. So, it was clarified that the board bonded with citric acid and sucrose had good biological durability. Based on the result, the particle board using agricultural waste and the bio-based adhesive have high potential. I would like to summarize this presentation. Considering the sustainable wood-based materials, unutilized lignocellulose, such as agricultural waste and grass plants, should be used in addition to wood. And the bio-based adhesive should be used. But in this case, it is better not to use their toxic and harmful substances derived from fossil resources as much as possible. And if we can establish the manufacturing technology using these materials, we can obtain sustainable wood-based materials. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Terima kasih. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Kenji Umemura. We will come back to you later in the Q&A session to answer some questions from the participants. Thanks again.
Yeah.
And we will move on to the speaker number 2, Professor Nam Hun Kim. He is a teaching professor at Kangwon National University at the College of Forest and Environmental Science. Professor Kim will talk about wood quality evaluation of compression, lateral and opposite wood. And I understand Professor Kim also have submitted a video of his presentation, and the committee will play the video for us now.
Okay, thank you, Frida. I use video.
Thank you. We'll come back to you later after the video. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Nam Hun Kim, working at Kangwon National University, Korea. I'm very happy and great honor to deliver a keynote speech in this wonderful, the 12th International Symposium of IWOS. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Dr. Fauzi Febrianto, President of Indonesian Wood Research Society, and organizing committee of this symposium, and all members of Indonesian Wood Research Society for their kind invitation. Today, I would like to talk about wood quality evaluation of compression, lateral and opposite wood. This is my profile. My Kangwon National University is located in Chuncheon City. Here, it is east side from Seoul, about 100 kilometers. This is the main campus among 3 campuses. I think these three books are so valuable materials for understanding reaction wood. As you may know very well, reaction wood on the lower sides of branch and leaning stem of conifers, also known as compression wood, has the function to restore the vertical growth of stem or branch, and could be recognized by the darkened color on the transverse surface. Compression wood, lateral wood, and opposite wood. Generally, compression wood has distinctively differences in anatomical, chemical, physical, and mechanical properties. So it is considered a defect in industry, that is undesirable material for commercial utilization. There are the list of major studies on wood quality of compression, lateral and opposite wood. Many scientists studied CW and OW, except LW, and they used branch wood as a material. Recently, in our lab, we are focusing on the comparison of the properties among compression wood, lateral wood, and opposite wood. So now I'm going to talk with our recent publications. First of all, I would like to talk about characteristics of compression wood, lateral wood, and opposite wood in the stemwood of Ginkgo biloba and Pinostens flora. This is a sample for Ginkgo biloba and Pinostens flora. In these photos, you can see the transition from earlywood to latewood. In lateral wood, you can see the gradual transition from earlywood to latewood. In figure 3, we can see a duos crystal in all samples, and there are many intercellular spaces in CW compared to LW and OW. In figure 4, we can see the cross-field pit. In CW, the slit-like pit, picoid pit, and spiral checks. But in LW, OW, we can see cup-rhesoid pit. In CW, we can see a distorted arrangement of tracheids in earlywood. However, in LW, OW, we can see regular arrangement of tracheids. In tangential section, rays are primarily unigeriate with few bigeriate rays. CW has a branched trachyte tips. So, and as shown in table 1, CW showed the shortest trachal length, while LW and OW showed similar trachal lengths. Table 2 shows lay height and lay number. Here, CW showed the highest lay height and the lowest lay number, while LW and OW had no significant difference. Lay height increased with age, however, lay number decreased with increasing gross link number. Table 3 shows microfiber angle in CW, LW, and OW of Ginkgo biloba. CW had the highest microfiber angle. This is the same tendency in Korean red pine. And microfiber angle showed some radial variation from piece to bark. That is, microfiber angle decreased from piece to bark. Table 5 shows crystalline characteristics, relative crystallinity and crystal width. Especially, CW showed the lowest crystallinity in every gross links. This is also same tendency with in Korean red pine, with ginkgo biloba. Relative crystallinity shows some variation pattern, radial variation pattern. However, crystallinity width did not show any change from piece to bark. In FTIR spectral analysis, there are some differences in lignin and carbohydrate peaks between CW and LW and OW. In conclusion, from our studies, it is revealed or confirmed that the CW, LW, and OW in the stemwood from both species had distinctive anatomical properties, crystalline characteristics, and chemical composition. Now I'm going to move to cross-field pitting characteristics of compression lateral and opposite wood. This is a cross-field of CW and LW and OW. In these figures, we can see a piseoid pit in CW, cupressouid pit in LW and OW. And also we found cupressouid pit in CW and pinoid pit and window-like pit in LW and window-like pit and pinoid pit in OW. Table 1 shows pin number per cross field of CW, LW, of OW in the stemwood of ginkgo biloba. CW showed the lowest pin number per cross field compared to LW and OW. This figure shows frequencies of pin number per cross field of CW, LW, OW in every cross rings. Table 2 shows pin number per cross field per CW, LW, and OW in pinus dense flora and the frequencies. It is almost similar tendency with ginkgo biloba. Table 3 shows cross-field pit diameter of CW, LW, and OW in pinus dense flora. As you can see here, CW showed the smallest pit diameter compared to LW and OW. This table shows radial tracheal diameter of CW, LW, OW of pinus dense flora. CW had the smallest radial tracheal diameter compared to LW and OW. In conclusion, the cross-field pitting characteristics such as cross-field pitting type, pin number per cross-field fitting diameter, and radial Telkai diameter could be used to identify the reaction wood in the stem wood of ginkgo biloba and Pinus densiflora. I'm going to introduce on physical and mechanical properties of reaction wood of tropical softwood species. They are sample wood discs of Sumatran pine and agadis. Table 1 shows physical properties of reaction wood. CW showed the highest green density, oven drying density, and the lowest green moisture content in both species. Also, CW showed the lowest volumetric shrinkage with the highest actual shrinkage in both species. In table 2, CW had the highest compressive and shear strength in Sumatran pine, while in agadis, OW had comparable value with CW. In conclusion, compression of Sumatran pine had distinctively different physical and mechanical properties compared with lateral wood and opposite wood, while in agadis the mechanical properties were similar in CW, LW, and OW. We move to carbonization of reaction wood. Table 1 shows the heating values of compression wood, lateral wood, and opposite wood in densiflora. CW had the highest heating value. Table 2 shows the pH of CW, LW, and OW in Pinus densiflora. There are some differences in pH among the samples. Table 3 shows the char yield of CW, LW, and OW from Pinus densiflora. CW showed the highest char yield compared to other parts. In conclusion, CW had higher heating value and char yield than LW and OW. Also, reaction wood is considered as a defect for utilization. It must be a great potential for utilization as biochar. I would like to finish my talk with the wise saying of Frank Lloyd Wright in 1928. We may use wood with intelligence only if we understand wood. Finally, I would like to give my sincere thanks to my student, Mr. Piantara Dasan Pursatama, and Dr. Jie, and Professor Fauji Fabrianto, and all members of my lab in KNU. Fauji Fabrianto, Piantara Dasan Pursatama, and Dr. Jie. Thank you for your kind attention. Terima kasih atas perhatian Anda. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Please take care from COVID-19. I look forward to seeing you in the International Symposium of IWOS again. Bye.
Okay, please don't say goodbye first because we will still be meeting with you, Professor Kim, later in the Q&A session. So please stay on with us. And thank you for the video presentation. And moving on to the third speaker, we have Pak Jamaluddin Malik. Let me just brief you on his background. Currently, Pak Jamaluddin Malik is a research scientist in forest products processing at Forest Products Research and Development Center at the Ministry of Forestry and Environment. Pak Jamal has been with the ministry since 1998 until today, and he holds a PhD degree from the University of Melbourne. Pak Jamaluddin, I believe you're still with us, and Pak Jamaluddin will be presenting live. He will be presenting about quote-unquote new wood from impregnated jabon using polymerized merbau wood extractive. Pak Jamal, saya persilakan untuk memulai presentasinya, silakan.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. After listening to previous presentation, the talk more general, particularly from DG Opordia and from Professor Kenji. Now, so we go to my topic today. Conclusion. Not clear. Name in other countries, Labula in Kelampayan in Malaysia, Mau in Myanmar, and Krakow in Thailand. Why jabon? This species is promising wood for high quality product because it has a good economic potential, and geographically, it has a wide range of distribution, being easy to cultivate. Rapidly, high salinity, not less, and easy to work. Next. Unfortunately, it has undesired properties because it's low density, low strength, and low dimension stability, and also susceptibility to biological attack. So it is an undurable species and belong to grade 4 to 5 according to Martha Wijaya et al. 1989. Next. Why merbau extractive? Merbau extractive, many researchers, many people presume merbau extractive is a problematic material in some application of merbau wood or in merbau in industry. But in our research, I found that the liquid of merbau extractive can be reacted with formaldehyde to form adhesive and resulted in exterior type of wood adhesive. So I grab one important finding here, namely I change the hydrophobic properties to hydrophobic ones of marble extractive properties. Here in my research started in 2009. That important finding is marble extractive content resorcinol, and then 2010 until 2011, I and my colleague formulate marble extractive as adhesive, as bioadhesive, and then I continue my research and found that it's a promising impregnating material that conducted since 2015. Here the type of polymerized extractive form. From here I got only two proper polymerized marble extractive. Actually, this process is more properly called as modification phenolic resin, with the effort of reducing resinol content according to Danke and Fisi 2002. Next. Yeah, based on some analysis such as FTIR spectra, DSG analysis, and TGA analysis, we can see that from FTIR spectra, the polymerized marble extractive, or PME, has lower hydroxyl groups. So this is why it has hydrophobic characteristic. And from the DSC analysis, we can see the transition glass temperature, and from TGA analysis, we can know that PME or 22 and PMB 33 has a higher or better decomposition temperature. Next. Yeah, based on crystallinity and molecular weight, we can see that the polymeric material, namely PME 2 and PME 3, has crystallinity 8.7% for PME 2 and 10% for PME 3, and about 3,000 molecular weight. So the lower crystallinity would make the polymeric material penetrate wood structure easily when they are used in impregnation treatment. Next. Here the illustration how the application of MPME on jabon wood. In vessel or a cylinder, we put a sample or wood and then vacuum and filling the cylinder with PME and put certain pressure for certain duration. And after that, in final step, we can have modified jabon wood with different, here we can see very different color from initial sample. Next. Yeah, the process, another process when if we need to do another treatment, for example, hot pressing, we can close or open system. Here I use closed system for additional treatment to improve the timber, jabon timber properties. This is the result of treatment. Then the basic one of the result is density. We can see from the graph that the jabon timber increased density by 25% if impregnated by PME 2 and about 30% when using PME 3. Next. Here, the visual appearance of untreated and treated wood using PME. If I ask you what the species, the cream color of timber, for wood technologists or anatomists can answer easily that it is jabon. But when I answer you what the two other two, the reddish brown ones, T1 and T2, it is jabon or it is possible jabon based on the color. Is it merbau? Maybe. But let's see the next slide. What happened? This is the color change evaluation. There are some system to evaluate the color. The simple one is I got from, it is free online evaluation color from Color Hexa. Thanks for Color Hexa. The impregnating material, impregnated jabon timber using PME22, the color change from very soft orange to dark moderate red. Next. Here more common used evaluation on color change, SciLab parameters. Here the table show that the average value of SciLab parameter by section on an impregnating material of untouchable kadamba or jabon wood. Next, here the change of value, color value using SciLab parameter between treated and untreated wood of untouchable kadamba. Next, here the more visual sample. I compared untreated sample with T1 that is impregnated by PME22 and UT untreated compared to T2 that is sample impregnated with PME22, and I also compared between T1 and T2. So morphological appearance, we can see that from the figure we can see that the control that is no happen there, but in sample impregnated sample using both with PME22 and PME23, we can see that there is deposit once in cell wall because PME not only precipitate in a surface but also penetrate into the cell wall. From here we can see as well that PME23 deposit more higher than PME22. Next. This again FTIR analysis for impregnated jabon wood. Here we can see that there is a functional group that not exists in untreated or control jabon wood. Next. Yes, is illustration of reaction between wood and PME during impregnation process. The hydrophilic of hydroxyl groups are replaced by more hydrophobic methyl groups from PME through methylation. Next. Here the effect of impregnation to some mechanical properties. Here we can see that the hardness, both end and side hardness, increase significant after treatment by using polymerized merbau extractive PME22 and PME33. Next, here, here is shear increment of polymerized merbau extractive applied on a jabon timber. So in right four graph, the increment, we can see that the shear increase after the treatment. Next, here the value of MOE, MMR, also there is improvement in mechanical properties after impregnating treatment. Here's a crystallinity value of timber, Jabon timber after the treatment. We can see that the crystallinity increased 38% for PME22 and 50.8% when Jabon wood impregnated by PME3. Here, when we do another treatment, additional treatment after impregnation, for example, hot compression, we can reach outstanding density. Here in PME22, the compression temperature 140, the density increase 117%, while when using PME3, the best temperature is 150, the density improved until 138.7%. Here is the, I think it's good information because wood and water is a problem of basic problem in timber science and technology. With this statement, we can see that set of recovery or spring back is only 14% when we use PME3 when and the temperature of compression 150 degrees Celsius. Here again, just the graph from previous slide. Theoretically, but reduction in the set of recovery is due to the structural change of wood component and potential cross-linking in the wall polymers. And in the study, the reduction in set of recovery for the Jabon wood sample is presumed to be caused mainly due to the effect of the impregnating material that contain cross-linking compound. For the next slide, next 6 slides, I will talk about the effect of impregnating treatment to durability of timber. I prepare a 2P sample with different treatment from untreated sample or control, and then some impregnated using marble oxide only, impregnated using PME with cyclic process, and then other treatment impregnating combined with hot compression. And here we expose the sample to types of termites, subterranean termites and drywood termites. Next, here sample exposed to subterranean termites, and next, drywood termites, and we can see that treatment is effective to prevent wood from termite attack, and we can see that the best treatment is next G, recommended to prevent Jabon wood against subterranean termite attack. And then treatment J is recommended to prevent Jabon wood against drywood termite attack. Next, sorry, it is not G but J. The treatment of J is recommended to prevent Jabon wood against drywood termite attack. So the conclusion is I can say that the there is significant improvement in physical and mechanical properties of jabon wood after impregnation treatment using polymerized marble extractive (PME. The resistance of wood against subterranean and wood termite attack were also improved. This research outcomes provide opportunities to growers and users of jabon wood by demonstrating that this low density, fast growing species can be potentially utilized to produce high value wood product through a simple impregnating treatment using natural and environmentally friendly material from waste of verbal wood. Here the reference. I publish some of my research here. You can see, you can access the journal as I published previously. Okay, thank you from your kind attention.
Thank you, Pak Jamaluddin Malik. Okay, we all have heard from Pak Jamaluddin Malik that
No
there
voice
is
off.
actually a new wood from impregnated jabon using polymerized merbau wood extractive. And now I'm sure all the participants are curious and want to ask some questions to the speakers. And we have actually gathered a few questions, and we have selected um, a few questions that we will be asking to the speakers. But first of all, I would say hi to Professor Kenji and Professor Namhoon Kim. Professor Kenji and Professor Nam, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, Professor Kenji,
Yes.
I was watching you in the presentation. There's a slide on global wood-based panel production, and I'm just wondering why is Asia is actually leading in global wood-based panel production?
What is what? Sorry.
Why is Asia
Sorry.
leading?
The connection is
I
bad.
mean,
Sorry.
there are American countries. The global wood-based panels to be.
Sorry, the connection is very bad. So the once again, please.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Professor
Please.
Kenji?
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Okay. I'm just wondering
Yeah. Yeah.
why Asia is leading in global wood-based panel production.
Yeah. So I think the most important is the amount of the resources. So as you know, the how to say the amount of the resources in the Asia is very much. That's why. So I think especially the Indonesia also they have much lignoceros resources. So I think
Yes.
it is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have a question from one of the participants. He was asking that reconstructed materials using fiber,
Yeah.
particles, veneer lamina,
Mm.
bonded with adhesives,
Yeah.
has been developed in the last century, starting from simple multiplying of T-box here in Indonesia. Well, current challenge for reconstructed material is anti-fire material and low swelling and also shrinkage properties as well as phenol emission from the adhesive. Is there any research focused to solve that challenge?
As to the bio-based adhesive.
Current challenge that we are facing now is for reconstructed material to be anti-fire and also low swelling and shrinkage property as well as phenol emission from the adhesive.
Yes.
Is there any research that is focused to solve that challenge?
Yeah, of course. They're using the synthetic resin adhesive. So there are many researches about that. But at least in case of the using the bio-based adhesive, there are almost no researches until now.
Okay. Is there any reason why there is not any research on that?
Yeah. So the reason is that the research on the bio-based adhesive is the how to say, the research period is very long, but the quality, meaning the bondability of the bio-based adhesive, have the problems. That's why. So now the most important on the research of the bio-based adhesive is to get to obtain the good bondability, especially the water resistance. That's why. So the after getting the those good bondability, so the next step, so the those research will be produced. That is my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay. Well, one more to Professor Kenji.
Yes.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
various lignocellulosic materials
Mhm.
are available in nature.
Yeah.
Is it possible to mix the low density of lignocellulosic materials with
Mhm.
those of high density materials?
Ah, yes. For example, the low density lignocellulose mean they are basically low quality lignocellulose. But the manufacture, if we, how to say, the develop the good manufacturing conditions, so we will get the good wood-based materials using the low density wood.
Okay, thanks, Professor Kenji. Now I would like
Yeah.
to say hi to Professor Namhoon Kim. Professor Kim, we have a question for you from the participant. It is interesting to understand the properties of compression wood. It is different between softwood and also hardwood. However, how significant is this compression wood to the timber trade?
Mm, yes. Uh, Actually, there are, as you may know, uh, compression wood is a serious defect for utilization commercially, and so you should reduce the compression wood for commercial purpose. Uh, is it right for your answer? Uh,
Okay. Okay. Professor Kim, I'm not representing any of the participant, but this question is from myself. I'm just wondering, um, can you tell us the background of your study on the compression wood, LW, and also OW? What made you finally decide to do a study on them? Maybe you can share it with us.
mm. Yeah, nowadays you are focusing on those compression wood. It is really a serious defect for utilization. So, and in one stem, there are compression wood, lateral wood, and opposite wood. Uh, in one stem, it is my study is has two objectives. One is scientific purpose, and the other one is practical purpose. So now, in my study, this is really uh, related related with scientific purpose.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Kim, for your answer. I would like to ask the next question to Pak Jamal. Pak Jamal, one of the participants is asking, but before, let me just give you a brief background of the question. One of the characteristics that was evaluated in impregnated Japan wood is the wood color. The wood color was observed from timber surfaces from the same finest. However, cellular wood creates non-uniform surfaces, while the CIE lab system measurement relies on light sources reflection of the wood surface. To cope with uneven surface, some researchers measure the wood color from sawdust with similar particle sizes in mesh. To what extent the color measurement from solid surface is valid for measurement?
Yeah, I do my investigation or observation on wood, solid wood of jabon. So I evaluate the surface, not on small, on solid wood. So I compare the original or counter jabon wood compared to impregnated ones. And I use a Scilab system because it's more common use in research.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there audio? Hello, Pak Jamal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Pak Jamal, one parameter to test the modified wood is the anti-shrink efficiency atau yang kita sebut ASE ya, ASE.
Yeah.
It represents the dimensional stability of impregnated and non-impregnated wood. In this study, the ASE is not tested. How do you test the dimensional stability of impregnated wood?
Yeah, there as a method to evaluate the dimensional stability, I use the simple one is just measure the set of recovery or spring to measure how much the same swelling and expressed in percent.
Okay.
Set 14% of spring back or set of recovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Pak Jamal. The laboratory scale test to test a modified wood against termites is useful. However, how do you link with the real situation in surface, such as a graveyard test?
Graveyard test, but would use it depends on what for, what the timber or wood will be used. In here, study, the purpose, the goal of my treatment is how to utilize jabon wood become flooring and as housing component furniture. But if we use the jabon or treated jabon timber outside, for example, so we should do graveyard test. That's all.
Okay, makasih Pak Jamal.
Sama-sama. Thank you.
I'd like to forward this following question to Pak Professor Kenji Umemura.
Yes.
Yes, Professor Kenji,
Yes.
one of the participants, Pak Ihak Sumardi, is asking, many technologies can use fiber from agricultural waste to make materials. The problem is on the industrial scale. Are there any example of the industry that use agricultural waste?
Now, yeah. So as far as I know, in the China, their company manufacture the board using the wheat, rice, yeah, wheat. But the at least the how to say amount of the manufacture is not so much.
Hmm.
But and then so the when we use those agricultural waste, the vulnerability is very important. That's why. So in that case, maybe the many how to say company you have to use the high quality adhesive.
Hmm. Yeah, are you saying that the agricultural waste does
Yeah.
not contain the doesn't it's not a very good material for adhesive?
But if we use the very how to say the good adhesive, so we can manufacture the good quality board from the
Okay,
agriculture
all right.
waste.
Okay, I'll move forwad to the next question. Still, this question is for Professor Kenji.
Yeah.
One of the participants,
Mhm.
Mr. Muhammad Adli Lubis, is
Yeah.
asking,
Mhm.
how about the feasibility of bio-based adhesives
Mhm.
for industrial application, especially the cost analysis?
Yeah.
Is that feasible?
Yeah. Yes. In the actually in Japan, so some company adhesives company try to use the lignin based adhesives, but now is they are trying. But in the
Okay.
Europe, so some company use the lignin based adhesive, as far as I know.
How about the pricing scheme?
Right?
Is it is it a good price to use that?
Yeah. So the company said to me the price is the similar to that of the conventional synthetic resin adhesive.
Okay, so the cost is
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I would like to forward the following question to Pak Jamaluddin Malik.
Mhm.
The question is from Pak Muhammad Adi Lubis as well.
Yeah.
Pak Jamaluddin Malik, how did you justify whether the cured PME was in the cell wall or not? FESEM only showed the images, not the chemical compounds of cured PME.
Yeah, based on same analysis, we can see that PME, both the PME2 and PME3, was deposited in cell wall. And based on FTIR analysis, we can see as well that there is a reaction between PME and wood. So based on this the analysis, we can conclude that there is a change permanently. The timber, impregnated timber of jabon change permanently. Not only fill in the vessel just a bulky material, but also reacted with cell wall.
Okay, thank you, Pak Jamal. And I would like to
Hilang
ask
suaranya.
Professor Kim now. We have a question from Wahyu Dwianto. Professor Kim, do we find the compression phenomena in bamboos?
Bamboo.
Bamboos, yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can
Where?
hear you clearly.
In bamboo, yeah. Mm, no, I don't have experience on bamboo, but maybe there you can find some compression and maybe reaction in bamboo. Maybe you can find.
Okay, so you have not really done any study
Yes, none yet.
on bamboos. Okay,
Related
thank
on
you.
bamboo.
Okay, Well, maybe you can answer this following question from a participant. Her name is Ratih Damayanti. Professor Kim, among LW and OW, which one showed the most normal characters?
Okay, that's very good question. Our goal of our study uh, is to solve the questions. One objective of our studies. Yes, lateral wood is transition type from between compression and opposite wood. So, but it's near to opposite wood, not compression in anatomical and some physical mechanical properties. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Professor Kim. And now I would like to go to Pak Jamaluddin Malik again. Pak Jamal, there's a question from Yoman Wistara. He's asking, what kind of polymers were formed by merbau extract, and how a non-structural component, extractive, formed a cross-link with structural component?
Sorry, the signal problem, I think, but the component of merbau extract is so I mean this major of merbau extract finding you can resin or polymeric resin here. So I apply this polymeric material for impregnating material to improve the quality or properties of wood. And here in my study I didn't do research on the structure of the polymer because I think it's too far from the study with limitation time. So I think can do further research on the structure on polymer structure.
So what kind of polymers were actually formed by merbau extract?
Yeah, this is I call polymer because this is come from wood extractive, wood merbau extract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Professor Kenju Memura, there is a question from Nevi Veni Riantin, one of the participants.
Okay.
The question is there any influence between adhesive and fungal growth on plywood and how to avoid it?
Oh, that is a very difficult question. But at least the detailed mechanism, I still don't know the detailed mechanism. That's why I compare with the synthetic resin adhesive, and then we decided the effect of those properties.
Is there any way to avoid the fungal?
Avoid. Sorry, I
Fungal
don't
growth
know.
plywood. Okay, all right. So, okay. Now I would like to go back to Pak Jamaluddin Malik again. There's another question from the participant, Pak Yaniko Hadi Prayogo. Pak Jamal.
Yep.
Pak Yaniko is asking, extract will consist of many compounds. Has it been identified which compound that is responsible for the improvement on the wood properties?
Yes, exactly. It's true that the extract is contains so many materials, so many compounds there. But here I just grab the major of the compound. Is here in wood, merbau wood extract. The major content is resorcinol. And in application for adhesive, for example, and impregnated material, we don't need to make purification because just apply the made extract, for example, in form of liquid. So then add more additional material so we can make polymerization process there. So we don't need to purify here. But if we want to do it, we can, I think.
Okay, Pak Jamal, another question.
Yep.
What is the resources of PME?
Resources?
Yes, is it from wood waste?
Oh, yes, exactly. We know that sawmill or wood processing industry, the side product is, not product is, the waste is, for example, sawdust and cut off and so on. So we can take the sawdust and cut off and extract the material from there easily. So after
Okay,
that, I made a process with another compound, another material, so we get the PM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Compared to bark.
Yeah.
Okay, wood compared to bark. Which waste is more potential to PME?
Oh, yeah. In Merbau case, I think wood more potential than the bark. I mean, wood, the bark.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Even though we have some difficulties in the audio with Pak Jamal, but I think we all can generally hear what you were saying. And I think that is the last question from the participant. And once again, I would like to thank all the speakers for joining us in this conference. But before we close this session, I would like to just give us and all the participants a very brief summary of what all three speakers was presenting earlier. I will start with the presentation of Professor Kenji Umemura. Professor Kenji is saying that forest multifunction consists of multi-production of wood, and that is why forest preservation is important. In producing wood-based materials, utilization of unutilized lignocellulose resources and bio-based adhesives will be important because wood-based materials have high potential as they are indispensable for architecture and also furniture, and especially with the population growth, the need is also growing. And the second presentation is by Professor Nam Hoon Kim. Professor Kim did a study on compression, lateral and opposite wood in the stem wood of ginkgo biloba and also Korean red pine. And Professor Kim also did a study from the Sumatran pine and agathis. And from the study, he concludes that compression wood, lateral wood, and opposite wood mostly have properties that are distinct. However, compression wood, which is usually considered as defect and undesirable by the industry, actually had higher heating value and char yield than lateral and opposite wood, and therefore compression wood has great potential for utilization as biocharcoal, and it is actually good material for bioenergy. And the third presentation is from Pak Jamaluddin Malik. His study shows that Jabon wood is significantly improved in physical and mechanical properties after impregnation treatment using polymerized Merbau extractives or PME. And why is Merbau extractive? because it is unwanted part of the merbau wood, therefore can reduce waste from the merbau wood. The resistance of the new wood against termite attacks were also improved. And those are the presentations that we had for today's session. I would like to say thank you again to all three speakers, Professor Kenji Umemura in Kyoto University, and also Professor Nam Hoon Kim from Kangwon National University, and Pak Jamaluddin Malik from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Thank you so much, and we hope that this session gives us a very valuable insight. And I would like to give back the following agenda to our MC, Mbak Rosi.
Okay. Uh, okay. Thank you, Mbak Frida. It's really good to have you here as our moderator. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are entering the next session, which is the parallel session. And in this parallel session, you can get yourself involved in more in-depth discussions. But before you're joining the parallel session, you need to leave the plenary Zoom meeting and then log in back to the special Zoom meeting room that have been designated for the parallel session. So without further ado, see you on the parallel session. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to announce it back to you. Leave the plenary session Zoom meeting room and then log in back to the special designated Zoom meeting room for the parallel session.
Oke, Umero nggak bisa. Namun Kim yang akan gabung.